Dr. Yinka Okweke is in the building. You are very welcome. Hey. You're welcome, Dr.
Thank
Yinka,
you.
to our
Thank
podcast on
you.
Bukky Talks. It's a real pleasure to have you here. We know you're super busy, so we don't
Mhm.
plan to take too much of your time.
Okay.
Just being someone that I've known for several years, I know you to be a very hardworking, crazy entrepreneur.
No, edit that part. Entrepreneur. Let's not put the crazy.
And I know you're into so many things. What drives that ambition to do all these things that you're doing? And by all means, feel free to tell us some of these
Okay.
things that you do.
Whew. What drives the ambition? Anyway, for starters, thank you for having me on your show. It's indeed a privilege. And then when you said that you've known me for several years, for context, people need to know how long.
Oh, okay.
They'll know that it's not one yesterday type. Anyway, yes. So,
Yeah.
what drives me? I remember my mom used to say something that when you go to a store, don't even look at the price tag. They'll tell you at checkout because money should never be a reason for you not to want something. So I would say that I like to have choices. I like the soft life. People don't believe it. You feel like I work hard. I'm working hard because I like the soft
Soft
life,
life.
right?
Yes.
So, and then I love to live a life of impact. So beyond what I would eat, what I would, all of that, we thank God for it. But when you're able to touch other lives without expecting anything in return, that is humanity, and that makes you sleep well
Absolutely.
at night, right? So it's a whole lot of things, but I like the fact that I'm able to take care of the people that I love. I'm able to take care of myself. I'm that kind of person that I work and I play hand in hand. I'm not that kind of person that you hear that, oh, I'm doing all of those things for the kids. No, I'm doing for myself, but hoping to raise responsible kids that will be able
Yes.
to, go on with the legacy. So it's
Absolutely.
just all those things. I just, to have choices really to say, I want to do something, I'm able to do it because
Yeah.
finances are very important and then
Very.
other factors as well.
Okay,
Yes.
that's amazing. I mean, having choices is paramount because you
Yes.
never want to be locked into a bottle or a hole. Okay,
Yes.
so
Yes.
today we know you're into sustainability, you're part of the Chinese delegation, you do so
Yeah.
many things in
Yeah.
that area,
Yeah.
renewable energy, and all
Yes.
that. For the essence of today's podcast, we want to focus more on your oil and gas
Okay.
experience,
Okay.
right? We know you're the MD CEO of Smart Energies. And
Correct.
even though Smart Energies started from Smart Gas, we know
Yes.
that it has evolved. So that gas
Absolutely.
aspect of the business is what we
Yes.
want to talk about.
Okay.
How did you get into the oil and gas industry or sector?
Wow. Okay. So I'm happy that you're Christian, so you understand the aspects of spirituality.
Yes.
So I can't say precisely what, but I would say that it's in the journey. When you start, you take the first step. You haven't seen the whole staircase. I think that's how my journey has been as a serial entrepreneur. The more I start something, the more there's clarity of vision. Okay, should I pivot here? Where are the opportunities and all that good stuff? And I'm sure that entrepreneurs can, they can identify what I'm saying. But Smart Gas, at the time we started, like you rightly said, in 2020, started in grief. To be honest, I birthed it when I lost my dad. If you remember, I was in the US at the
Yes,
time,
I do.
and I just came back, and then COVID started, which was
Yes.
somewhere around February
February.
2020.
Yes.
And then I lost my dad sometime in February. And,
Yes.
the airspaces were closed down and all that. I couldn't travel. And sometimes I feel like my dad just had to give me something to distract me from the grief. So I really can't say it was one thing.
Right.
Because looking at my trajectory in business, I never thought oil and gas, right? So I can't say that I already had a prior interest.
Right.
And that's where the spirituality comes in. So I believe God is really my journey, So sometimes when God lays something on my heart, it's easy for me to start to scale it, to look for the framework around it, So
Okay.
during all that time that COVID started, about 6 months, if you remember,
Yes.
everywhere was on lockdown. But
Lockdown.
trust me, when I wasn't grieving, I was writing my business plan. I was contacting, my suppliers in China. I was, speaking with my mentors, my sponsors. And fast forward, here we are now. Like you said, we have evolved into Smart Energy. So to answer your question, there's the spiritual part of it. And being
Absolutely.
an entrepreneur, I have honed the skills to know how to scale an idea very quickly, to understand where the risk elements are, to do my market research, speak to people in the industry, speak to my mentors who will not project fears, but tell me, okay, Inka, this is what you want to do. Let's look at it this way, that way. So just being a business person, those things really come naturally to me. And
Okay.
when I find myself in a sector, I like to know a lot about it, not just to dabble into it. So there's a place of knowledge. Now, back to my parents as well. I remember my mom, she was an academia before she passed. She was a professor, God bless her soul. And
Amen.
my dad was a doctor. He had a PhD in agriculture or something. So I grew up in an academic family. And my parents would say the least you can have is your master's degree. Now I'm getting somewhere. And so, of course, I finished school, did my first master's, my second master's. My mom said, oh, why don't you go and do your doctorate? Because my mom was a professor. So I did my doctorate. So what I'm trying to say is education has also helped my entrepreneurial journey, is what I'm
Fantastic.
saying. Formal and informal education has really helped my journey because, as you would say, what you don't know, you don't know.
You don't know. You don't
So,
know.
yeah, that has also helped me in that journey. Yes.
That is brilliant. That is such an inspiring story because
Yeah.
a lot of times, and I want you to talk us through, it almost seems like it was a pivot into oil and gas because it wasn't something you ever thought of.
Very
You were
true.
not in the sector before.
Very
So,
true.
for the young lady or young man out there that has been in this career or this path for X number of years and feels like, oh gosh, where do I start from? I'm tired of this human resources, for example. I want to go into oil and gas, but I don't have the experience. I'm already almost 40, X, Y, and Z. What do you have to say to those kinds of people? Because you did it, and this is
Yeah.
6, 7 years later,
Yeah.
and you've scaled,
Yeah.
you're successful in the sector,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. So for this one, I'd like to look at the camera. So which camera should I look at? Since I'm going to be talking to the ladies.
That one.
Okay, so that camera. Okay,
Yes.
so to the ladies, you have to start from where you are. I promise you. I don't think there's anything I want to say now that you haven't heard before. So it might sound like a cliche, but the truth is you must start from where you are. That's one. Number two, who are you surrounding yourself with? So, for example, I'm a member of the Women in Energy Network just because, again, when I was coming to Nigeria and I moved into the sector, it was important for me to align myself with people with like passions, with people who already had a lot of experience in the sector, right? So I joined the organization. I'm in Women in LPG, I'm also on the board of women as well, So my point is your environment matters. So that's one. Sponsors and mentors, extremely important. For you to have sponsors, you must have proved yourself as well because nobody wants to put their name at risk, when you're not going to deliver. My people around here are nodding. It means I'm giving some nuggets. So anyways, so mentors and sponsors are very important as well. And then you have to be so hardworking, smart working. You have to have a good personality. It's a whole lot of things. So yes, the sector can have its challenges, but start from where you are. Continue to self-educate, formally, informally. Right now, with the advent of technology, there's hardly anything that you cannot see online. The good, the bad, the ugly. So every day, continue to invest in yourself. Because I tell people, whether oil and gas, whether real estate, it really doesn't matter. What you have is what you have here. Your beauty is the icing on the cake. It doesn't really matter the sector. You will always deliver value. So start from where you are.
Brilliant,
Yes.
brilliant, brilliant. Start from where you
You
are.
absolutely.
I love that.
Yes.
Now, we all know the oil and gas is seen to be a male dominated industry or sector. My older brother is in the oil and gas sector, and anytime he talks about anything oil and gas, it's men, 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 men. The other day, he had a games night at his house, and he was like, I'm inviting some of my work colleagues, and they were all men.
Men.
It's a male dominated sector.
Absolutely.
How has it been? Has it been challenging being a woman to rise through the ranks, so to speak, in a male dominated sector? And what are some of those things that helped you achieve this dominance that you've been able to achieve in somewhat of a short period as well?
So you're absolutely right about that. It's really male dominated. But what I realized is value knows no gender. Right? So those things will be there, like I said, regardless of the sector. But it's a universal currency that regardless of where you are, you will find your own seat or you bring your own seat.
Okay.
So again, because I've been doing business for the longest, my strategy will be different from somebody else who is it's a total, the package is so robust that
Yes.
there's no one
One
size
single
fits
thing.
all, to
Yes.
be honest,
Yes.
So I would say that, yes, all of those things are there. Sometimes when you even go for meetings and they'll say, oh, are you representing the MD? I'm like, no, I
Oh,
am
I'm
the
the
MD.
MD.
So for
Absolutely.
me, so I think for me, I've just been able to make lemonades out of lemons. And to be honest, a lot of men have helped me in the sector. That's the truth. Because again, sometimes when you're going to there, I'm going as a damsel in distress. I'm always distressed. I'm
You're
like,
always
oh
distressed.
gosh, please
Help
now. But you see,
me.
sometimes, so I use my femininity in a dignifying way,
Absolutely.
because God will only send people to you. That's the
Yes.
truth. It's not
Yes.
really about how good you are. Relationships are very important.
Very.
So I know the times that I need to boss up as well, and I know the times where I just need to, be the damsel in distress and really ask for help.
Yes.
Because you need it, and I get all of that as well. So while it is male dominated, it also has its advantages. I was also able to carve a niche for myself, again, because I've done business for so long, and then my area of competence is really in strategy. I'm very good with strategy, even though I say so myself. So it has helped me to carve our blue ocean, as I would say.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
because I'm experienced in business, I don't go around just chasing what seems to be the it, right? And that comes with a level of confidence, a level of experience, a good network, and so many other things. And that's why I said it's really a journey. And I know I have a very long journey ahead of me, but I'm where I am now because I have been able to learn from all those failures. I've been able to have the right people around me to be able to, block all the distractions and just really focus, knowing fully well that the journey is not smooth, but it is
not.
worth the ride, right?
Absolutely.
So yes, it's male dominated. There's a bias based on culture, based on religion, based on so many things. And then of course I try to be amiable. It's nice. I'm sure you know that joke.
Yes, I know that joke.
Right,
Amiable.
amiable, right? Because see, you have to just be you have to have very good interpersonal skills. You don't even have it. You have it, things are hard.
Things are hard. Yes. Let
You
alone
understand?
when
Let
you don't have
alone,
it.
yes,
Yes.
so business is about relationships, to be honest. People will sign a check over a game of golf, so over coffee, over tea. So there's that relational part of things that I think I intentionally work on, right? And because I always show up over time, I've been able to prove to people that I'm worth putting their stake on me. So if I ask for help, they're willing to say, okay, let me refer you to this person, let me do this, you can do that, so it's really a whole lot of things. Yes,
Absolutely.
I hope I've answered the
You
question.
have. I like the
Yes.
part that you said you always show up.
Oh yes.
We're going to talk about your entrepreneurial journey a little bit
Okay.
because people seeing you might feel, oh, she's so lucky. Look
Yeah.
at her. She's so lucky. She's a big madam in oil and gas, She has a
Yeah.
doctorate degree. She has 2 master's degrees. She knows the governor. She knows the president. She knows all these people. But it would be nice for people to know some of those businesses 10, 15, 20 years ago that you have journeyed through. Some of the ones that are still in existence today and some of the ones that failed and what you learned from that. It would be nice to tell our audience a little bit about that part of your journey.
Okay, great. So if I look back in retrospect, I started my entrepreneurial journey during my NYSC days, 2004 in Port Harcourt. If I think about it now, then I was a copper. And I started business with 25,000 naira at the time. I'm getting somewhere. I like storytelling because the story of an entrepreneur, it has to be about storytelling.
It has to be about storytelling.
You have done it,
You've
done that.
Right?
So my roommate at the time, she used to make very lovely sandwiches. And then she would make the sandwiches. Remember I said 25,000 naira. She would make the sandwiches, sell them to me at 18 naira. I was working in Panalpina at the time, a logistics company.
I remember Panalpina.
Yes, and then a lot of expert tradesmen and all of that, And then she will sell them to me at 80 naira. I'll get to the office with a lot of smile on my face. I'll sell at 120 naira. And then all those men, they'll say, oh, Yika, keep the change, keep the change. So I kept on keeping the change. I kid you not. And, so of course, they'll probably give me 200 naira. They'll say, keep the change. So I started that way. And then fast forward, because we had expert trades, we had a contract with Aero Contractor at the time. And then I'll go and meet my aero contractor, our staff. They'll say, guys, now I want to go to Lagos. Look for a free ticket for me. I kid you not. All those things can't happen anymore, you
No,
know.
never.
But what I'm trying to say is, wherever you are, there'll still be opportunities. It's the point I'm
Absolutely.
trying to make now.
Absolutely.
And then I would get free flights. Then I'll go to Balogun Market. I'll go and buy. I can't forget. I started buying children's clothes because I had a very good eye for lovely things. I buy colorful, nice clothes. A lot of people in Port Harcourt at the time had not been to Lagos.
Absolutely.
So the very first trip I went, I can't forget. I got 2 boxes of clothes, and I got to the office during break time. I said, "Guys, come and see." When I opened the boxes, I kid you not, I took it first. They started. I'm like, what? By the time I finished booking, I had enough money to buy myself a car as a couple.
Wow. Wow.
And I went to Cotonou with my brother-in-law. We bought the car, and the rest is history. My friends will say that the only thing I've not sold is rice and beans. And that's part of what you're saying now. When you look at the amount of businesses I have registered, over 16, how many have failed? Maybe 14. You understand, you know, but people don't see
They don't see that.
You
They
know,
don't
it's
see that.
unfortunate. But just like I said, there's really nothing I'm going to say that people have not heard before. But it's a journey.
Absolutely.
Trust that journey.
Absolutely.
Sometimes I create businesses because I just want cash flow. I understand that there are a means to an end. But the truth is, the more you now go in business, the more experienced you are, you're a bit more steady. To now say, some people get it right from the beginning.
Yes.
Some have to go through a couple of things to get it. As long as you're moving, just keep it moving. And you know, the sky is the starting
point, as they say. That is such a, you have so many nuggets and so many amazing stories for our audience. I really am excited to have you here sharing these things with us. Let's talk a bit about leadership, especially as a woman. Part of our series in previous episodes, we've alluded to the conversation of leadership. Now, notoriously or stereotypically, women are bad leaders, right?
Yes.
Women are emotional.
Yes.
Women deal with their hormones. Women do X, Y, and Z.
Correct.
Tell us about that, because you're a woman and you've risen through the ranks. You're successful. You failed, but you've consistently kept pushing. And here you are today.
Yes.
You're sitting at tables with ministers, with heads of organizations, and all these beautiful things. What leadership trait, or what has your journey taught you to become that leader, so to speak, as it were, to help you achieve these levels of success?
Okay, so I would say it in one word: self-awareness. I'm very self-aware. I am very self-aware.
Yeah.
If you put a president in front of me now, I have what I want to say to him.
There you go.
Their protocol, they are usually the issues. The people you want to see, they're not the issues. You understand?
I agree.
So self-awareness again comes with the doing. The actions will have to happen before the confidence comes. And then when you're confident in yourself, it doesn't really matter who you're speaking before, because you understand the fact that the person is also there because of privilege.
Yes.
It could as well be me. I keep saying it. There's really no office I cannot hold in Nigeria or outside the country because I think I've paid my dues, right? You know, so when you are self-aware, you are emotionally steady. So it doesn't really matter what people say to me. I think that's one of my greatest strengths. I'm able to, you know, block out the noise. I'm able to block out the distractions, right? You know, and you know, sometimes I keep saying it, entrepreneurship and leadership is like, it's like when you're training your muscles, right? You start going to the gym today, you do your first push-up, your body starts to hurt you.
Yes.
But the more you do it, you do 10, you do 20, you do 30. That means that you're able to now tone those muscles, and they now come as second nature. So a lot of things are now second nature to me. So when I go somewhere, so when you talk about leadership, my leadership style is mentoring.
Yes.
I do. It's say as I do. For the most part, of course, we're human. Yes, you know. So so because I love my work, I enjoy my work, and I have seen the things that work for me. So, like I said, showing up, being diligent, you know, being, you know, I'm a person of excellence. So because I'm like that, I have this very laser focus on excellence. So once I don't see it, and it's a challenge, I won't lie.
Yes.
Because to demand excellence, you are already that
Seen
bad
as
boss
the bad
again.
boss, yes.
Right. You know, but
Yes.
again, you know what works. You'll still find people that will still stay with you,
Yes.
who want to grow under your tutelage, you know, and things like that. You know, so
Yes.
those come under the challenges. But in terms of the leadership, it's very important because you're only as great as your team. You have to have a good head on your head. So I'm not that kind of person that will say, I'm hiring someone to do my own job. No. A lot of people just hire people and they expect them to fix the issues in their company.
Yes.
No. I'm the driver, I'm the visionary. I set the big picture and I look for a team to help me with the implementation. And that's a
Absolutely.
going concern.
Yes.
So leadership, women being bad bosses, emotional, they're right in their own ways, right? But like I said, as a woman, we have a whole lot more going for us if we're just to harness them, to be honest. Because you see that emotional part of us, I keep saying it too, it helps us to really get by.
Yeah.
Emotional leadership helps us to get your team members to say, oh, madam is going through a lot, to let you know. But if it's a man. So I always just like to look at the bright side of things, the things that have worked for me and all that, and I'm also work in progress. Sometimes I do certain things. I think I've shared one or two things with you that I did, and I'm like, how could I have done that?
Yeah.
So there's that part as well, but you have to be sure that 75%, 80% of the time, your leadership style is good. And once you're like that, it's the same attitude you take to your friendships, you take as a mother, you take so you don't have a different attitude at home and a different one. No, because these are all your values and your characteristics, right? So I think that's what it is. I also hold myself accountable. I love the idea of being smart. So because of that, I model after things that I like. You're doing something, I like it. I want to imbibe it. So I actively imbibe the things that I like. So that when you encounter me, I will make an impression.
Fantastic.
Because I keep working with it.
We have to, and I think that's a misconception. And thank you so much for saying that. We have to continue improving ourselves. We cannot just stay comfortable where we are, and we have to constantly aspire for more. Correct. Very well said, Dr. Yinka. Before we let you go, thank you so much for being here. But before we let you go, because I know you personally, I know you're not very social in terms of
you can't
the
bring that.
I'm bringing this up here. I'm 100% bringing it up here.
God.
You're not very social, but you said you like to have fun and you balance it with work. So tell us how you balance your life. Tell us how you do that.
So since you want to, expose me, I would expose you as well.
No, don't expose me. It's my show. It's my podcast.
See, it's very funny. These girls, they'll say, Yinka, have fun. You are too boring. Meanwhile, so I always tell them, I like low impact activities. Take me to the spa.
Wow.
Let's do facials. Let's all do so. But these my friends, so I'm like, why do you guys think I'm not having a good time? So to
Absolutely.
be honest, destination, this I love soft, easy. We're sitting together, we're chilling, and we do a whole lot of that. So when you say I'm not social, so I think like my friends have said, when it comes to work-related things, I'm social because I'm good at networking, having conversations.
Yeah.
But other than that, you know where to find me? On my bed.
On her bed at home.
Room.
Thank you so much, Yinka. It's been a real pleasure having you here. I don't know if you have any final words for our audience that you'd like to just part with.
Yes, well, I'll tell them that I know things are really tough now.
Very
for
tough.
Those who are looking, who are in Nigeria, know, and if you're in any part of the world where things are tough, to be honest, you just have to hang in there. That's the truth. You have to just find your village.
Yeah.
You have to find your support system and take it a day at a time. Because no matter how bad it is for you as you think, someone is going through worse. And it is a journey. It can get better. And if you're Christian or whatever you believe in, believe that there's a superior power that can always change, whatever it is that you're going through. And I wish you the very best.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yinka. And we look forward to having more engagements with you in the near future.
Absolutely.
Have a lovely day, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.